Hi, I'm Steve Sample with Bama Talk. Don't miss a single episode of Bama Talk Show, available now on iTunes, Stitcher, or your favorite podcast app, and on the web at bigbrainsmedia.com.
This is your Weather Xtreme video for Saturday, June the 15th. I'm meteorologist Brian Peters. The Ides of June, and summer is just around the corner. Well, we consider June to be part of the summer months, but the official start coming up in just a few days. There's a look at the Skycam network from the Birmingham Skycam on the Daniel Building in downtown Birmingham, and certainly a beautiful, clear sunshine for the start of the day. And we see plenty of sunshine from the Hamilton Skycam as well as we look at a sunrise shot there. High pressure centered over the western Carolina area is keeping us high and dry, and that's very nice with lowered humidities. That lowered humidity thanks to some northwesterly flow that will be ebbing today somewhat, and the humidities will be on the increase, unfortunately. Temperatures across the country fairly mild for this time of year, fairly, kind of warm across most of the eastern two-thirds of the country, still a little cool in the northern Rockies. Across central Alabama, temperatures starting the day out generally around the 60-degree mark for most part, kind of the lower 60s, and dew points certainly down into the upper 50s for many locations. QPF-wise, we do have a front coming our way, along with a couple of upper air disturbances that will actually be making things a little wet for Monday and Tuesday, it looks like right now. The westerly is a little bit further to the north, plus we've got good upslope off to the west, so we are getting some slight risk of severe weather from eastern Colorado across Kansas and southern Nebraska into extreme eastern Iowa and northern Illinois. That's day one. For day two, the slight risk stays pretty much in the central plain states of Kansas and Nebraska. And then for day three, we see a reduced slight risk, but we do have some C-techs across the rest of the country as the upper air pattern remains pretty active, and the tropics are not active. They're still pretty quiet. Now, there's a look very quickly at what's called the precipitable water chart, and you can see that the precipitable water values are very low across the southeastern United States, certainly high along the Gulf Coast and across Florida, but you can see the moisture generally into the central plain states. In the upper atmosphere, the GFS, and this is the 06Z GFS model run, we're seeing the ridge kind of build our way for today, so we'll warm up to the upper 80s for the most part, but we should stay dry as much of the moisture, as you saw in the precipitable water chart, stays off to our west. The pattern flattens a little bit. The ridge moves over Florida, but the upper high moves over Florida, but the pattern flattens a little bit, and that will allow a number of little disturbances. You can see one of them there over the central Mississippi River Valley, and that means that we'll see a front move down into the Ohio River Valley, and as moisture increases to Sunday, we'll see a chance that we'll see some isolated showers. I think for the most part, though, most spots for Sunday stay dry. I put that probability at probably 20%. The pattern stays flat, and we continue to see on Monday these little short waves. There's another short wave over northern Missouri, and that should be enough to create a good supply of showers put into the likely category on Monday. We see a similar pattern on Tuesday as there's a stronger short wave coming out of Iowa, and that short wave should push the front further down into the central Alabama area, and eventually by Wednesday, it looks like the little short wave moves by, and so that should push the front down into South Alabama. So I think for now, I don't think we're going to be able to rule showers out for much of the rest of the week. The best chance is Monday and Tuesday, but as we get into Wednesday, it looks like some chance for showers. The northwesterly flow is there. However, we're not really going to see an air mass change. So while the humidities will once again drop at least a little bit, maybe not quite as much as we saw for yesterday, it looks like the front stalls out to our south. So while I'd like to say Thursday would be dry, and the GFS is certainly suggesting that, I think we still have to deal with diurnal heating, and so showers are a possibility. For Friday, looks like the ridge moves our way as it moves over Arkansas and Missouri, and so that should once again just kind of put us in a favorable pattern for diurnal heating. So showers continue to be mentioned. And then as we get to the end of the period at Saturday, The upper ridge certainly coming our way, and that once again, with the upper ridge, diurnal heating. Daytime heating means we're going to see isolated to scattered showers, so the summertime weather pattern. Looking out into the future, and what we call voodoo country out beyond kind of week 2. And as we look at the 500 millibar pattern, the upper air pattern, you can see that the ridge is there, but not particularly strong, and that's good. That means that we're not seeing anything in the way of excessive heat. But when we get out to the 30th of June, wow, look at that. The 594 heat bubble up over Wisconsin and northern Illinois, northern Indiana, eastern Iowa, and parts of Minnesota. So definitely some warm weather, at least in store by the end of the month. Well, that'll do it for the Weather Xtreme video. Thanks for tuning in. I expect to have the next one posted first thing on Sunday morning. In the meantime, I hope that your Saturday is a good one, and Godspeed.
Thank you for trusting us to be your #1 source for news
in all of Central Alabama.
in back-to-back ratings periods.
More people watched ABC 3340
than any other station in Birmingham.